What's good out there, YouTube? It's your boy, the one and only DG the Chef. And if you're trying to figure out how to get your run game back to where it was in Madden 20, then you're in the right place. If you want to add the run game to your arsenal and break off big runs like you see me doing in this clip, then you're going to want to become a member of the channel. I have released a members only video on the run game and what I do to break off big runs. But that may not be the reason why you're here. See, you're here for solo battles. As always, where the channel is going to give you the no money spent way on how to beast out solo battles so you can make the top 100 and at least break 25K on each solo battle. I have the tips for you. This is what you need to know to get top 100 in solo battles. Let's get into the video. Here we are in solo battles, and you guys can see I have 25-262, 25-310, and 24-924. We kind of slacked a little bit on this one. We didn't get enough first downs. I know how to get you guys to 25, and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. But the biggest thing that you need to know right now is that the offensive tips work for everyone, but the defensive tips are a little bit hit or miss, okay? There are a few teams that the defensive tips just do not work on. This week, it will be the Carolina Panthers with Taysom Hill. When you have a scrambling quarterback and they're in the Carolina Panthers offense, this defensive tip that I'm going to tell you guys doesn't work as well as the other particular game. So it did work with New York, it worked with the Chargers, and it worked with Washington, as you guys can see, but it does not work well with the Panthers. We're going to try to figure out how to get the Panthers and the Cards and the Green Bay Packers to work well. Don't worry, we got you guys. Hopefully they just stop putting them in solo battles. But besides that, you guys see that I do know how to crack 25-2. My team also is only at 84 overall, so you don't need a super squad for this. I'm going to tell you all your offensive goals and your defensive goals to get 25-3 at least. So the second thing I want to point out here, right, is that I have 2 games in which I didn't give up any points, and I scored 60 and above for each of these games, right? I still did not break 23. The game that I actually broke 23, I did give up 10 points. You're going to ask yourself why. I'm going to tell you that. Again, remember, there are certain goals that you're trying to hit, and if you hit those goals, you will get more points. Pitching a shutout is a particular goal, but it doesn't seem to count as much as some of the other things that we did in the Chargers game. So that is a big tip. I did that on purpose just to see how many points I would give up if I didn't give up a shutout. So again, I got 25-3 giving up 10 points, and I only got 25-2 giving up no points and scoring more points. So again here, the actual completion of your task is more important than the amount of points that you actually score. So let's go ahead and get into some gameplay so I can show you how I did just this. So first things first, let's actually talk about kickoff. Last year, we used to do like a squib kick or a onside kick. You're going to want to kick the ball deep here. The reason why you're going to kick the ball deep is mainly because if you kick it short, the computer actually runs a different offense. That's right, the offense that the computer runs midfield is a little bit different than the offense that it runs when it is in its own territory. So kick the ball deep every time. I've got the best luck with just kicking it deep. Don't try to risk it and kick it onside because you may give up points. Now, we're going to get back into the defensive tips here. So the defensive playbook that you pick doesn't matter too much. And I'll tell you the reason why, because we're going to pretty much run special teams the entire game, and every playbook has the same special teams plays. Now, you may actually want to run a playbook that has mid blitz in it. I highly suggest getting a playbook that has mid blitz in it. I have the New England Patriots, and it does have mid blitz in it. That's just the one that I particularly run for solo battles. Now, what you're going to do is the same thing we did last year, but there is a small little trick that I'm going to tell you that helps you out. What you're going to do is first play, you're going to come out and squeeze block, straight block, or whatever. You're going to want to run the punt block this year. I tried field goal block. Field goal block does not work anymore. At least it did not work for me. So you're going to come out inside of your punt block formation and you're going to go squeeze block or straight rush. Those are going to give you your best bets. But before you do this, please make sure of 2 things. The first thing you're going to want to do is make sure your biggest and fastest corners are on the field. Both of my corners are about 90 speed and they're around 6 feet tall. This helps you when you're jumping up to get those picks that the ball doesn't actually go over your head. So make sure first and foremost, your biggest and fastest corners are on the field covering the receivers. This is a big part of the game, because if you have a lesser corner on the field or a shorter corner on the field, the ball can't actually go over your head, because this year they changed some of the animations where the receiver will actually contest, try to knock down the ball, or actually jump over your DB, which may cost you into giving up a lot of yards, because we know the computer likes to cheat. What you're going to do after you come out into your punt block is you're going to automatically audible over into 8-up man safe. I think it's something like that. And it's going to make sure that everyone is actually covered. So we're not going to run the punt block. We're going to audible into 8-up man safe or something of that nature. And you'll see that everyone here is actually covered. After you do this, the computer is going to audible. So as we see, the quarterback comes to the line, the computer audibles. So I am going to take the DB that's furthest away, and for me it's Jackson, the furthest way on the opposite hash of the ball, and move him about 6 to 7 yards back and all the way inside the receiver. And then immediately as the ball is snapped, I'm going to count to 1 as I press over towards the actual quarterback. So let's walk through that one more time. Again, what I am doing here is taking the corner that is the furthest away from the ball, so the opposite hash corner, and I'm going to back him up about 7 yards and move him inside of the receiver, okay? So it's gonna look a little something like this. As soon as that ball is snapped, I'm going to press on my controller towards the quarterback. So it's gonna look a little something like this. I'm just gonna press over, and I'm also gonna strife. So I'll just strife over, pressing that L2 or that LT button on your Xbox and strifing towards the quarterback. I'm immediately going to let that go after the ball is snapped, okay? So it's really quick. If you don't do this quick, you're going to give up big plays. I suggest that you practice inside of a solos challenge first. So you're going to back up 7 to 8 yards inside the receiver, and as soon as the ball is snapped, strafe towards the inside, let go, and then immediately turn back towards the receiver. This requires so much more work because change of direction is such a big stat in this game that if you have a DB that does not have good change of direction, you're gonna get overthrown. So as you see, I have Jackson here. I'm immediately going to start stepping inside. So there it goes. And as soon as I see that dot, I am going to jet back outside, catch the pick. Now what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to run backwards so I can get more yards on my actual drive. So I'm gonna run all the way back to the 10. I'm just gonna dive down to the 3-yard line, and then I'm going to just start my offense at that point. This is the first key to playing defense in solo battles and how you. Now let's talk a little bit about offense here. Offense is pretty simple. It's almost the exact same as last year. The difference is this year we have accelerated clock, and that bad boy is not nice, as sometimes it can run off 10, 12, 15 seconds. So try not to let accelerated clock play a big part of your actual offense. Try to get out of bounds as much as possible, and don't run no huddles when you have a big play. If you have a big play, just run out of bounds or just call a timeout. What you're gonna wanna do on offense is short plays, short, quick, fast plays, get out of bounds. If you have a big play, just go ahead and score, or again, call that timeout, because accelerated clock is going to be a big factor in this, and it's going to stop you from being able to achieve all your goals. I like to run out of the Oakland Raiders offense. The play out of the Oakland Raiders playbook, gun bunch quads, is going to be spot for me. This is the fastest setup play that you can run. Again, I like the fast setup plays because it allows me to minimize the time that I'm using pre-snap, which is not a lot, and get my plays off, and they're very effective. So again, gun bunch quads, spot. What I run here is I go ahead and put R1 on a slant, as you can see here, and I'm going to make that flat defender decide whether he's going to take A or he's going to take Y. If he takes Y, I go ahead and I throw it to A. And you see I catch the ball, I'm on the sideline, and I immediately get out of bounds. That clock is stopped. Now the clock is going to pick back up once I get on the field, but I only need to make one offensive adjustment, so my play is good. So again, I come back out, same play. I put that R1 receiver on a slant, and then we're good. If it's man, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it to R1. So this is the case in which I didn't get out of bounds. I'm going ahead and just short play. I'm going ahead and do a no huddle. 7 seconds come off. I'm gonna go ahead, throw it to Y here, and get out of bounds. Boom. This is the pattern that you need to have. Short play, no huddle. Big play, get out of bounds. Try to get out of bounds as much as you possibly can, because your first goal is to at least get 23 to 25 first downs. You want 23 to 25 first downs. If you can get more, by all means, get more. You'll get more points. You'll maybe break into 26 if you can get to that 35 threshold. But as of right now, with the time, I've only been able to get about 23 to 25. So again, Depending on what the person picks will depend on if I throw it to him or not. Right there, you see I throw it really deep because no one was open. So I just go ahead and get the yards. Your second offensive goal as of right now is about 300 yards passing and at least 4 passing TDs. If you can get 6, that's awesome, but at least 4 passing TDs with 300 yards passing. So if you have the actual play to get big yards, go ahead and get that play, score your touchdowns. Remember, if you score a touchdown, it does not count for your first down. So I would highly advise that if you get a big play and you're about to score, just go ahead and run out of bounds. That way you can actually get the first and you'll get the touchdown on the next play without, taking up too much of your time. So again, we want to get interceptions using punt block, and we want to get at least 23 to 25 first downs and about 300 yards passing if we can, with 4 to 6 passing TDs to break into that 25. Now, let's talk about the second thing that you'll actually need for solo battles. The second thing you're going to need is a defensive touchdown. What I like to do is kick the ball deep, go ahead, run the punt block scheme, get the interception, and just run it back with Jackson here or run it back with whoever your corner may be. This is going to be good for you. You only need one particular TD on defense. You don't need a lot, just one TD on defense. So let's go over them again. One TD on defense, 300 yards passing, 4 to 6 passing TDs, and about 23 to 25 first downs. Now, sounds super simple. It should be simple, but it's going to be pretty sweaty. I've noticed that it's taken me about 30 minutes to do this per solo battle. So hopefully if you guys can figure out a way to do it a little bit faster than that, then by all means, let me know. So let's talk about the run game here. For me, the run game is pretty simple. I like to stretch out of eye close. Now, eye close for me is probably one of the strongest run formations inside of Madden. They said they fixed it, but I can tell you that I can get outside a lot, especially with the running trick that we'll talk about in our members only video. Eye close is probably my favorite run formation, and I just run stretch left or right. Now I automatically come out and stretch right, but then I go ahead and I audible over to left. It seems to give me the best blocking on that particular play. If I run the play as I came out in, I normally get stopped. So I'm going to say that go ahead, come out and eye close, run the stretch, and if you are going to run it to the opposite side. As you can see here, Jackson just takes off and we are gonna go ahead and get a lot of yards. But what do? We run out of bounds. That way we can get the first down for that particular play. Your rushing goals for solo battles is going to be 200 yards and about 2 TDs should be able to get you into the top 100 and at least 25-3. So you'll see here that we went ahead and got those extra rushing yards with the touchdown on the second play out of the same exact formation. Second thing that you're gonna need on defense is actual sacks. I found that anywhere between 3 to 5 sacks works the best for me. Anything over that, I'd seem not to get as many points. So again, once you're in about fourth quarter, if the game is too far out of hand, you probably missed your opportunity there because they probably won't pass too much. They're probably just going to try to run the clock out. So I always suggest trying to get your sacks by the end of second quarter. In second quarter, if the game's close enough, the offense will actually start trying to pass. That is the point in which you need to start running mid blitz, pressing those corners, making sure you have 2 fast guys on the edge so you can go ahead and get those sacks. So again, second quarter, go ahead, start running your actual mid blitzes so you can get those sacks. Your goal here is to get about 3 to 5 sacks for the game. That's really all you need. If you can force a fumble, go ahead and try to force a fumble as well. I think you get a few points for that. I haven't really seen a huge increase on forcing a fumble or not forcing a fumble, but I would just go ahead and suggest that you do run mid blitz at the end of the second when the computer actually starts trying to pass. You can see here that they are actually trying to pass a little bit in the fourth on me, and what I'm actually running here is just dime and blitzing my safety, trying to come in and get that user sack. It works sometimes, it doesn't work as well other times. It just depends on the quarterback that you have. If it's a scrambling quarterback or a pocket quarterback, I always suggest, highly suggest, never come out in the defense that you plan on running. If you plan on running man, run zone first and then audible over to man. That tends to give you the best results than coming out straight in man. If you come out in man first, the computer already knows how to beat you and it knows what you're running. So always try to audible over into the coverage that you actually try to run the most. So if you're gonna run mid blitz, don't come out in mid blitz. Come out in like cover 3, which is the opposite of mid blitz, right? And then audible over into mid blitz. You're going to get the best results. Same thing here. If you're going to run man on the passing downs because you're trying to get your sacks, come out in zone first, then audible over into the man coverage and try to get your sack. You'll see here we have pretty good success at that. So again, you're trying to get about 3 to 5 sacks here. If you can't get that forced fumble, get that forced fumble. So let's go over it one more time. We're trying to get a defensive touchdown. We're trying to get at least minimum get 5 interceptions, right? We're trying to get 300 yards passing, 4 to 6 passing TDs, 200 yards rushing, and about 2 rushing TDs. Now, as far as yards given up on defense, I haven't found a magic number yet. I've given up 107 yards, and I've given up 60 yards, and I've given up no yards, and it doesn't seem to affect me too much left or right. Mostly what's been affecting me the most is actually my offense. So those 23 first downs are very important. You're gonna want to play the short game here. Those short passes, get out of bounds, do everything that you can to get about 23 first downs. Now I'm gonna keep this video pretty short because I haven't mastered solo battles yet, but I did want to get it out for you guys to show you what I'm actually running to get my yards. So as we get better at solo battles, I will continue to release more videos for you guys as it comes. But I'm going to, as always, place all of the stats that you need for solo battles at the end of the screen so you guys can see what you need to break into that 25-3. And as always, it's been your boy DJ the Chef. It's been love. It's always love. I hope this solo battle video helps you out. And if not, we'll make another one. All right, I'm out. Peace.